Christiane makes her living from selling snacks and bingo tickets. For more than 15 years, she has occupied the same spot on Market Street, a street in Victoria, the capital of Seychelles and one of the smallest cities in the world. Just a few years ago, she witnessed a man get stabbed in the chest right next to her food stand on the doorstep of a shopping center. Despite a CCTV camera located just above where the incident took place, the perpetrator of the crime was never identified.
This camera does not work at all. For you to see what is really happening in town, you have to be here to see everything. On this camera, they are meant to see a lot of things if it was working, but it is not working. And when you call the police to assist if there is an incident at Market Street, if people are fighting, people could die. Why? Because the camera does not work. When you call the police as well, it takes a very long time for them to get here, when the police station is very close by. Once somebody got stabbed, it took over 15 minutes for them to come. The guy responsible had time to run away. If we call, you are meant to come straight away. How long should that take when the police station is so close? Do they need to take a car? They could even walk.
A network of cameras located on major streets and other public spaces are surveying Victoria 24 hours a day, 365 days per year. When the United Arab Emirates donated these cameras, 173 in total in 2014, they cost more than 10 million rupees. The Seychelles police promised that law and order will finally reign in Victoria.
The cameras are based entirely on a wireless network which the police is using. The cameras are high-definition cameras with very good zoom capabilities. You can see the face of the people, close-ups if needed. This wireless camera network allows us to place a camera anywhere we feel it is necessary. If the police wants to put a camera somewhere temporarily, this is possible, night and day, as cameras have low-light capabilities.
The cameras are meant to make people feel safe since they know the bad guys are being watched. It took over 3 months to get the Seychelles police to agree to an interview about camera surveillance in Victoria, but when we finally met them, they said that the cameras have been useful in identifying various thefts and traffic violations.
The decision concerning where to place the cameras was taken by management based on where the crime hotspots are located in town. For example, the cameras are next to the road to detect if there are road accidents at Market Street, which is a very busy area. If any incident happens, we can spot it. We also have one at Barrel Bar, which is a place where there are usually a lot of incidents. Sometimes when an incident happens, maybe the camera is focused somewhere else. But the cameras here, we can rotate them, we can rewind, and then we can see what happened. For maintenance, we have a contract with an external person, and he's on duty 24 hours a day. The cameras help with evidence in court if there is a crime, but otherwise they are useful only 50% of the time.
The cameras used in Victoria are part of a system that watches over the city in various strategic locations. Footage obtained from the Seychelles police show the hotspots that the cameras cover. When asked where exactly in the city the 173 cameras are located, the Seychelles police were not willing to share the information in the interest of national security. However, most of the cameras in town are clearly visible, but many people, like Steve Elizabeth, question their effectiveness. Steve sells vegetables and fruits next to the fish market. He says he requested not so long ago CCTV footage from the police when he was robbed, but the thief could not be identified in the video.
Most of my life,
I have worked at Market Street most of my life. I grew up here. I was faced with a situation. I went to the police station to ask for camera footage. The camera could see the person but could not identify the person because it could not zoom to see the full face of the person. I don't find the cameras useful if this is the way they work. I know the country has a lot of debt, but we need to improve technology. I hope it works better and we can rely on cameras, especially if the issue is brought to court. We don't want the case dismissed because of the cameras. This would be sad.
It is now 7 years since the cameras were purchased, and the Seychelles police say that almost half of the cameras are not working. They blame lack of funding and resources for not being able to replace them. And in the command center, where the cameras are monitored, there is only one police officer per work shift to monitor the remainder that are still working.
The cameras are old, and for spare parts it is difficult. We have a project we worked on last year to improve the system with more advanced technology. Financial resources is a problem, especially now with COVID. Maybe when things improve, maybe next year government could do something. The police is on duty 24 hours, and 24 hours we have different shifts with people on standby. The duty of the person is to monitor the cameras. But it is not always humanly possible to monitor each camera all the time. But if he suspects something, he could act. There are also black spot areas. To be honest, I don't think people are careful just because of the cameras. They do what they want.
The camera surveillance system is also not the most advanced, since it is not equipped with modern artificial intelligence software used in many big cities around the world, like facial recognition software and license plate readers. The system is also not connected to privately owned surveillance cameras. Here at the waterfront area in Victoria, there are several food truck owners who have had to invest in their own cameras, as the only CCTV camera covering this area is currently not working. Leo Constance is one of them. He converted an old mobile library into a food van, but he says his van was broken into several times.
I have experienced 8 to 10 break-ins. People break into my van and steal. 2 weeks ago, they broke into my freezer and stole all my meat. The way the police cameras are located, all thieves coming here should be detected by this camera. But I don't know how it works, whether it works or not. Each time there is an incident, the police would come after we inform them, but we don't know what really happens after. They do their investigation, and so far nobody got caught. We don't know if it is a question of a lack of evidence, fingerprints, cameras might be working or not working. Nobody has been caught so far. For a long time, we have had to install our own cameras. But sometimes our cameras also break down. The thieves, they know which ones are working, and they choose a different route. They have stolen many things like bicycles, music system.
As Leo continues to improve security around his food truck, the idea of blanketing Victoria in surveillance cameras and whether this would create as many problems as it solves remains a food for thought. With budgetary reductions planned next year across the government, the Seychelles police would need another substantial investment to make Victoria really safe.